Call the regular meeting of the Upshur County Commission to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time we'll have the reading of the minutes of the August 8th, 2013 Upshur County Commission meeting. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning. The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held their regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, August 8, 2013 at 9 a.m. Donnie Tenney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Tenney, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, Troy Brady, Commissioner, Megan Pomeroy, County Administrator, Jennifer Dinklow, Assistant County Administrator, and Jacqueline Dinklocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously unless otherwise stated. After reading of the minutes on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the regular meeting minutes of August 1, 2013 as submitted. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved the resignation of Benton Wingler as E911 Communications Center Dispatcher effective August 1, 2013. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the resignation of Waldo Cochran as Lewis Upshur Animal Control Facility Shelter Attendant effective August 2, 2013. The Commission reviewed the following for your information items. Number 1, notification of press release. U.S. Marshal John Foster speaking about bullying. Forensic Mondays at American Legion, Monday, August 12, 2013, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Number 2, agendas and/or notice of meeting as listed. Number 3, meeting minutes and/or financial reports as listed. Number 4, meetings as listed. Number 5, appointments needed or upcoming as listed. Megan Pomeroy advised that county resident Charles Canfield Consulting, LLC, made a donation in the amount of $600 to the office of the Upshur County Sheriff to be used to offset expenses for the purchase of bulletproof vests for the law enforcement deputies. The commissioners expressed appreciation for the gift. The Commission approved all invoices for payment. The Commission approved all vacation orders. The Commission approved the following settlements as listed. The Commission approved the following exonerations and/or refunds as listed. And with no further business, on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission meeting adjourned at 10:15 a.m.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as read?
I have a correction on the Commission review the following for information items. Number 1, U.S. Marshal only has one L. You have 2 L's in there, which is a common I won't say mistake, but it's a common spelling that because we have Marshall University and West Virginia, that people tend to put the extra L in Marshall.
Okay.
In my 8 years as Marshal, one of the things I tried to stress wherever I went. Small thing, but it is my shopper.
Thank you, Commissioner Spellcheck.
It's one thing I am certain of.
Yeah.
Not concerned of many other things, but that's one thing I do.
It's one word you know how to spell.
That's right.
Okay. Well, with that correction being duly noted, I'm sure it changed in the minutes. Then I would ask for a motion we approve the minutes with that change.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Well, we have a very important guest with us this morning, but we have about 5 minutes before she can, so we'll have to hold her in abeyance for a little while here. We'll discuss, actually, our first 2 items that we have, we're waiting for some information from our bookkeeper on cost. We do have 2 requests for extended use of the pool. one through September the 8th and the other through the month of October. We're trying to determine approximately what the cost would be in order to operate those two. So we will kind of hold off on those for a little bit till we get some more information and go on down to item 3, which is approval of Lewis Upshur Animal Control Facility volunteer Jennifer Messer. Has she sent all of her paperwork back in? And
Yes, she has sent in all of the paperwork.
okay, so do we have a motion to approve Jennifer?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. How many do we have, since we have a new volunteer form, how many do we have that's signed up to come back on board now?
And have all of their paperwork?
Right,
in?
and have all their paperwork turned in?
I think we probably have, and this is just a guess, but I think we probably received maybe 10 applications, maybe 4 of which have turned in all of the paperwork required.
Okay.
That's a very rough guess. But
Okay. Okay, so, well, that's good. The next is appointment of emergency medical provider to Upshur County ETAB Board pursuant to West Virginia Code 24-6-5G. Keith Queen, Director of the Upshur County EMS. And this appointment is according to code.
Right, and I included that just in case anybody wanted to reference that, but we do need to appoint an emergency services provider. And Rick Campbell had been appointed to this board, but he recently left employment with the EMS, and Keith Queen is the new director. So this would just be to replace Rick Campbell on the board through June of 2014, I believe, would be the end of that term.
Okay. Any questions or comments on that? If not, I would ask for a motion to approve the appointment.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item, discussion and approval of Software Systems Incorporated maintenance contract for 2013-14.
And this is, again, we've had a number of contracts that we just had to renew at the end of the fiscal year. So this is another contract that we've had in the past that we would just have to renew. They take care of our website. They do a lot for our tax department. For the circuit court, I believe. And it's outlined there in the amounts, but they have a number of different levels that we use, level 1, 2, and 3. 1 is just support, I believe. 2 is telephone support. And then 3 is actual data conversions. And the only office that uses data conversions is the tax office. So it just kind of outlines all of our costs there. So it would just be a renewal of our maintenance contract with them.
Okay, any questions on that? That's an important part of maintaining our system is to have that support from Software Systems. Do we have a motion to approve the contract for 13-14?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And we'll move on down to executed grant award, community partnership grant for disabled veterans.
And that is one, again, that we've talked about before. This is just to include it in the permanent minutes that we did receive that signed contract back and the final formal paperwork, so.
That was for the roof?
Yes, and actually they are going to be, it's for building improvements in general. I think when they started the application, it was going to be for the roof, but these things take a long time. So they've actually completed the roof now. I believe it was with donations from the community, which they're very appreciative for. So they're actually going to use this to, I think, purchase equipment to remodel their kitchen. I believe there were maybe windows they were going to work on.
They had a lot of needs on that building.
Yeah.
Now, are we tracking these grants?
Yes.
Is that something Jennifer's doing?
Yes.
So we can see exactly how they progress through, and if they're held up, we know where they're held up and for how
Right.
long and all those good things. So
Yes, sir.
we probably haven't had probably we're still at the state, probably at this stage on most of them as far as new ones, right? Where we've actually received the contract back from the state. And so the next step will be see how long from this point it takes for the state to send the money. Is that the...
Well, we actually need to, with the community partnership grants, we purchase the equipment, they install it, they give us the invoices, then we turn the invoices into the state, and then they reimburse us. And we send the check out to the, so there's still a few steps left to go
Right.
back and forth, but the work has to be done, and we actually have to have invoices, proof of payment before they'll reimburse us.
So by tracking it, we'll know how long it takes them to get the invoices to us, and then how long it takes for the state to reimburse us for those invoices. I'd be interested in see chronologically how that works. Okay, well, it's 9:15, and we have Laura Meadows, Executive Director of the Upshur County Convention and Visitors Bureau, for a presentation of the Convention and Visitors Bureau Annual Report. Good morning, Laura.
And I've got some paperwork for you all.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
I'm Laura Meadows, and every year we come to our county government and our city government, and we give you an annual report of what we've done in the past year. We also provide you, and you'll see in your packets, our annual financial statement, so you can see where we stand financially. And I'm just going to go over our accomplishments that we achieved in our fiscal year 2012 to 2013. One of the major things, just to kick it off, is we were awarded $23,400 in matching advertising partnership program advertising funds. This was awarded by the West Virginia Tourism Commission and the Division of Tourism. And we're just always so thankful to receive those grant funds because it's able to help us reach out a little bit more, do a lot more advertising, and just tap into some different opportunities. So we were happy to be awarded that money, and we've had some really good successes out of our advertising.
Is that something that you get every year from the state? I mean, is it
We have to
available?
apply, and the money's actually dwindling, so that's why it's such a big deal that we were able to receive the money. But every time we apply, we have to put together, of course, our application, and then we have to go down to Charleston and present our project to the Tourism Commission, and then they either award or not approve the
Or
funds.
partially award?
Yeah.
What's the source of that money? Is there a source
A lot of it
specifically?
comes from the lottery fund. And right now, a lot of our casinos have some competition over the
Right.
state border, so that money's dwindling.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So with that money and out of our general hotel motel income tax, we've been able to design and implement some advertising campaigns. Our general advertising campaign is titled What Small Town Charm is All About. And we did a lot of surveys and talked to a lot of people, and we said, you know, if you could sum up Buchanan and Upshur County in 3 words, what would you do? And small town charm came up a lot. So we did some research, and we thought that would be the best advertising campaign. So if you see any of our advertisements, any of our Facebook posts, it's always revolved around small town charm. So that's our general advertising campaign, and just this past year, we did a side advertising campaign that's titled Stay the Weekend, and Stay the Weekend was partially funded by some of the advertising grants that we were awarded from the state, but Stay the Weekend basically featured, I think it was 6 of our major festivals and events that happen in Upshur County, and we did an advertising campaign of come for this festival, stay the weekend, and enjoy the rest of Upshur County. So it's been very successful. It's running right now. The upcoming event that we're going to be advertising under Stay the Weekend is the Arts Festival, and then the last one under that campaign will be the Christmas craft shows that we have in the county. So it's been really successful. It's been fun to see it all come together. And both of those campaigns, we're advertising and marketing them through a variety of medias, a lot of social media on Facebook and Twitter. We do a lot of print ads. We do a lot of online ads, to where the online ad, somebody clicks it, they're going directly to our website so they can get the specific information about what the ad was sending the message for. And we also do just a lot of public relations. I attend as many meetings as I can. I'm always trying to share what we're trying to do and get people involved with the tourism industry of Upshur County. Another thing we've done in the past year is we've created an internal advertising grant program for local businesses and events. So they can come to the CVB, and we have an application process, but they can be awarded up to $750 to advertise their event, their business, their festival. So in the past year, we were able to distribute $4,600, and you can see the different businesses and events that received those grant funds from us. So the Blast from the Past has proved to be very successful, so we helped them advertise their event a little bit. A local 5K, we helped them promote that statewide and get some registered people to run that 5K. The Arts Festival, again, they've received some advertising funds. Festival Fridays, that's been a good one. We were able to cover the entire 4 months of Festival Fridays with that $750. We got a really good deal for them. If anybody went to see Into the Woods by the Buchanan Community Theater, we tried something different. We actually did a Facebook advertisement, and I had never done it, so we just kind of jumped in and saw how it worked, and it was really successful. We had a lot of people on Facebook as a result of that ad talking about Buchanan, talking about the show, making plans, and we were able to actually see that happen on Facebook, so it was really fun. The Market Bistro, we helped have a video produced for them, and it's running on YouTube, and hopefully we can get it on some TV commercials in the near future. But the commercials are really quality video, and if you haven't seen it, just go on YouTube and Google or just search Market Bistro, Buchanan, West Virginia, and it's just a nice video. And then, of course, the Strawberry Festival. So we're reaching out. We want people to know that we have this money available. We want our local businesses and our local events to use our resources. So this is just one way to build it up, and we're continuing this program again this year. Like I said, we do a lot of social media advertising, Facebook and Twitter. I'm on there at least once a day putting something out there, and it's extremely successful. We get people commenting. We have conversations with people. People have maybe lived in Upshur County and they've moved away, and they're like, oh, I remember this store. Oh, I remember going to the Strawberry Festival. And it's just another really fun way to connect with people and try to bring them back into our community. We have a 29-page Upshur County travel guide, which I didn't bring any, but I can bring you updated copies if needed. But our travel guide is 29 pages, and in the past year, we distributed over 16,000 travel guides, largely within our surrounding states. But that 16,000, probably about half were a direct result of people who saw an ad and they asked for more information, so we sent that piece to them. So that just shows that our advertising is very effective. People see our ad, they want more information about Upshur County. The other half we generally distribute to welcome centers, rest stops, other CVBs, and larger requests. We also have had our travel guide represented at 6 travel shows. The travel shows were spread throughout Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Florida. So we're able to send our travel guides down. Another state representative talks about all of our different attractions, but it's a nice way for us to get out a little bit more. You can also see our website is very successful. We've had 17,942 visits on our website during last fiscal year. And it's really interesting because out of that 17,942 people, they're staying on our website on average about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So that means they're spending 2 minutes and 15 seconds researching what there is to do in Upshur County. They're looking at our lodging facilities, they're looking at places to eat, what's going on, our calendar of events. So it's just a really good indicator that people find value in our website.
Can you track where those inquiries are coming from, statewide or by state or region or whatever?
We can, and the top state is West Virginia, and they're spread all over the state. Mm-hmm. And then it starts trickling down by our surrounding states, so it'd be generally Ohio or Pennsylvania's in number 2 spot. And then number 3 would be Pennsylvania or Ohio, and then Virginia, and then it kind of goes down south around North Carolina. But yeah, we can, and it's fun to watch that, especially whenever we have a specific campaign going on and we know, okay, well, we're targeting people in Pittsburgh. Let's see if this is working. And then you can see Pittsburgh spike, so we can tell that our advertising is being successful. On our website, every single year, we're putting a little bit more money into our website just to tweak it. That way it's staying up to date and it's staying current. But we were able to do a homepage redesign where right now there's photos that kind of rotate and people can click it, and it's a little bit more interactive. It's not just a stagnant website. It has movement to it, and it's just another interactive way for people to want to stay on our website and look through a little bit more. And on our website, I'm on it every single day on the back end, changing dates, adding updates, swapping out photos, and it's really important because it keeps our website kind of at the top of the search list. If you go in and change that all the time, it's telling search engines this website's kind of relevant, it's staying active, they're working on it, rather than just staying stagnant and not being updated for 3-4 months. So I'm in there every single day adding updates to Upshur County attractions. Another major accomplishment we've had in the past years, we have moved our office. We're now located on Main Street, and we absolutely love it. If you haven't come by to check it out, it's just a huge improvement from where we were. We actually get to talk to people now. It's really fun. I mean, the people who are coming in, I had women who stopped in from Virginia, and they were doing some research actually here at the courthouse. And they stopped in, and I was able to tell them where they could eat and where they could visit whenever they were done with their trip. And it was just it's been a fun way to see where people are coming from and actually why they're coming. So it's wonderful. We're really happy there. We've also helped create Cash Mob Buchanan, and it's a partnership with our local Chamber of Commerce, Create Buchanan, community members, and local businesses, where we're trying to select one business a month and Cash Mob their establishment. So yesterday was actually at Diane's Hallmark, and we encouraged everybody throughout the day to Cash Mob Diane's Hallmark with $20, a little bit of money, go get as many people in the doors. And it's just a fun way for people to interact with local businesses, to maybe visit an establishment they haven't been to before. So it's been successful. I think Diane's Hallmark was our 4th Cash Mob, and I think she did pretty well. I went in and got a guest book for our visitor center, and there were quite a few people in there, so I think it was good. And again, we partner a lot with Wesleyan. I think Wesleyan just had an economic impact study, and they bring in millions of dollars into our community, and it's so huge to the CVB and so huge to our hotels, our restaurants, and the people who we're interacting with now. A lot of people have a connection to Wesleyan in some form, whether it's parents bringing their students in or their children in. They're doing a little bit of research about what Buchanan's all about, but Wesleyan really is a wonderful resource for us. So we partner with their business classes and their marketing classes, and we've been a research study for a marketing class. We also have a service scholar who works in our office who's from Wesleyan, and she's just wonderful. She's going to be a sophomore this year, and we had her all last year, and I said, I want to keep you for all 4 years because she knows what we're doing, and she's getting some really great work experience by volunteering with us too. In the past year also, we have become an accredited Convention and Visitors Bureau. So there's a statewide nonprofit organization. It's called the West Virginia Association of CVBs, and they've created an accreditation program. And you go through this big application process, and once you're accredited, that is valid for 3 years, and then we will have to reapply. But the accreditation is really important to us because whenever we go down to the state and we're asking for our advertising grant dollars, one of the major questions is, are you an accredited CVB? And we can say yes, and they know that means we're operating the way we should, we're kind of structured the way we should be, we're spending the money the way we should be. So it's a big accomplishment that we do have that.
Is that the first time for that accreditation to be obtained?
Yeah, whenever I started, it was one of our major goals. So within the first year, I had our application complete and submitted, and yeah. And we also have an annual financial review completed. So we just had one completed for fiscal year 2011, 2012, and we'll very soon have an annual review scheduled for our 2012, 2013 year. So that's kind of the highlight of what we've done in the past year, and I'll give you just a quick insight of what we're looking towards for next year. We're in the process right now. We're partnering with the Lewis County CVB and the Randolph County CVB, and we've created an advertising campaign that's titled 33 Things to Do Along Route 33. We're creating 3-day trip packages. We're targeting people who are within a 3-hour driving distance. We're trying to keep all of the packages under $333. So we're really playing up that number 3. And we've been getting together, and we've got our 33 attractions listed that's going to be featured. We're working on a website specifically for 33 Things to Do, and we have a very specific advertising campaign that's going to be revolved around this. So it's really fun. We're getting kind of our foundation laid out this fall and winter, and then the advertising should start running in the spring. So it'll be a fun project.
I know that last several years, anyway, that's been a goal. I'm glad that it's finally reaching fruition with the Development Authority, trying to, because you and the Development Authority, the Convention Visitors Bureau, are hand in hand in bringing our story to the public, to many other locations, and wish you success in that.
Thank you.
That's
Well,
important.
We've also partnered with a lot of the Quarter H supporters, so we've let them know, this is really in anticipation of Quarter H being completed, because we need to be prepared and have some kind of communication with our partnering CVBs too, because it's not just a county thing, it's a regional idea. Yeah, thank you. So it's underway. We'll see how it all happens. It's been interesting. We're also under preparation for managing the conference center with the new Army National Guard. In the past few weeks, we've been talking about the kitchen layout for the caterers, and it's been an eye-opening experience for me, because I'm learning a lot as I go. But we're starting to get down to the details of how this conference center is going to be operated and how where our role is going to be in the conference center. And it's a lot of fun. It's a little overwhelming, but it's going to be a really amazing opportunity for us. And I already have 8 conferences tentatively booked for this conference center, in preparation of, in a year, being able to fill that. And I'm continuing to get some phone calls and putting feelers out there, so we're really starting to pick up the pace with that, and it'll be a good project.
Very good.
And just a minor thing, but we've been able to implement a visitor parking pass system where visitors for one day can have free parking in downtown Buchanan. We've worked a lot with the city of Buchanan to make sure that it kind of works with their system. But I was able to give out our first visitor parking pass yesterday to 2 women who were visiting from Virginia, and they thought it was wonderful. They thought it was very welcoming. They appreciated it. And it's just going to be a nice, welcoming program for us to offer to our visitors. And it's parking for one day, and then after that one day, we direct them to where the metered parking is available within the downtown area. But it's a fun program. And we're also, this year, we're starting an email marketing campaign through Constant Contact. Whenever people request information from the CVB, in the past, what we do is we have their mailing address, so we stick a label on our travel guide and we get it out to them. Well, we also receive their email addresses, and in the past year, it's just been one of the things that we've needed to do. So I've been working on an email marketing campaign, and I've been pooling all of those email addresses that we've received over the past year, and I think I've got it up to about 5,000 to 7,000 email addresses. So I've been joking that all of a sudden 5,000 to 7,000 people are going to get an email from Upshur County telling them to come over. But we're going to start that campaign, and it'll be just another way to share our attractions and what we have to offer to people outside of the community. And that's all I have. Do you all have any questions for me?
Sound like a lot of good things are happening.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sound like you're busy, and I'm sure it's quite a change to move up on Main Street.
It is. It is. It's been a big difference, but a good one.
So we appreciate all you're doing, and you gentlemen have any questions? Just
Keep up the good work.
Keep up the
Thank
good
you.
work.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You have a great day.
Okay, have we got their information yet?
No, but we can discuss what we have.
Okay, why don't you go ahead?
We received 2 letters, one from Wesleyan College swim team and one from the Hayes team, which is Harrison area YMCA swim team, I believe. They have used our pool, the county pool, for this past summer for practice for their teams. And they are requesting, our pool will close on August 18th, I believe. And they are requesting use of the pool beyond that closing date. Wesleyan is requesting from August 21st through September 8th, and Haste and Dennis Miller are requesting through October 15th. Their times do conflict slightly. Wesleyan is requesting to use the pool from 4:30 to 6:30 at night during the week, and Saturday from 8 to 11. Haste is requesting to use it Monday through Friday at night for some 2-hour period between 6 and 10. So that wouldn't necessarily conflict if you gave them like 6:30 to 8:30 or 7 to 9. But then on Saturday, they're requesting the exact same time as Wesleyan College. And obviously, Haste is requesting an additional, a little bit more than an additional month. And they are also offering to reimburse the county $250 from August through September 19th, and then $350 from September 20th through October 15th.
The request from Wesleyan is a request that has been made in the past, and we've honored.
Correct. Yeah, from the information I have, I believe we have allowed Wesleyan College to use the pool in the past. I am not aware of whether we have or have not allowed other swim teams to use it. I don't think that we have. I think it's primarily been Wesleyan College and the high school that have used the pool before.
And what's the time period to high school?
I think the high school and Wesleyan College both used it for about just a couple of weeks, so that through like September 8th, I think. They both. We haven't heard from the high school at all, but I think generally Wesleyan College and the high school use it for just a couple more weeks, and then we shut it down.
So the request from the swim team would be for an additional approximately month and
A little bit more than a month.
month and a week, 5 weeks. So,
And some of the cost to us involved, we would not have any staff specifically for that. Our maintenance department would have to continue going to open and close the pool. We have to pay for chemical treatment for the water. We also have to pay to heat the water, which with cooler nights, rain, whatever, will probably, and no bodies in it during the day, might cost a little bit more. So there will still be costs involved in maintaining it, even without lifeguard staff.
have you talked to Greg to see how much time will be required for that 5-week time period?
No. I think the time that would be involved would be testing the chemicals, putting chemicals in the pool, cleaning the pool. I mean, you still have to skim it. You have to, I think they vacuum the pool, maintaining the buildings likely. I mean, I'm sure they use the locker rooms. And
You also have to check the chemicals periodically to make sure that they proper
right.
amount or
So, I'm not sure exactly how long that takes. I would think that cleaning the pool and opening it up and everything would take a little bit. I mean, I would imagine you'd have to do that before and after. I'm not entirely sure on that.
Right. Well, we could check on that and see if we can get the if we could get an approximate cost associated with that. Of course, the farther you get into October, then the more September and October, the colder it's going to be and the more it's going to cost to heat it. If we had those numbers, I think it'd be easier to make a decision. So maybe we'll have those here after a while. We can.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I did try to get those, but the bookkeeper and we have been out at a conference yesterday, and I asked for Tuesday, so the payroll week, so she's trying to get those as quickly as possible, I think. But.
Well, we'll get those figures, and then that'll help us make a determination then of what our expenses will be.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
While we're discussing the swimming pool, I thought this might be, since it's during the agenda, it might be a good time to go ahead and bring up how much of appreciation we have for our swimming pool this year. After, of course, the commission, at the beginning of the year, we had a little setback with some maintenance issues, but it's really impressive the way the pool and the county has come together again to utilize our facility. I think you see with these two letters the importance of our 50-meter swimming pool in this community, not only in this community, but within this region. I know you're fully aware, but just in case those in the community that aren't aware, what HASTE stands for is the Harrison Area YMCA Swim Team. So we've got folks from Harrison County coming down here from their YMCA to use our long course swim or pool. I think you also noticed that Mr. Miller mentions Maggie Miller, who we're very proud of course, in Upshur County for her swimming abilities and bringing such recognition to our area. I would, as a member of the park board still until there's a reappointment, I might go ahead and warn you, though, that utilizing the swimming pool through October could be an issue as far as continuing maintenance for the next few years. And if you continue to use that furnace, which we're all aware of is on its last leg, so to speak, that you might want to reconsider the length of letting Hayes use that. We understand the importance of it, but something to think about. We also want to make sure that we recognize the guards and the new member this year, our new manager. They did a great job, no incidents. Even during, and luckily the weather's been really good this year. We haven't had many delays or closings, so we want to make sure we recognize them and our maintenance staff. So on behalf, of course, the board, I mentioned that. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Well, along those lines, I will mention that within the last couple of years, we have spent a considerable amount of money upgrading the pool. We've got all the leaks fixed. Just pretty well rebuilt the boiler this summer, put the new pump in, which the motor for the pump, the main circulation pump. So we spent several $1,000s on that pool. And even though it's old, you know, if you maintain old things, they can still be pretty healthy, can't they, Doc? Even though and I know there's a proposal that we're going to be looking at soon that's going to be well over $1 million to put a new recreation facility in, and we're going to determine the feasibility of that and the timeline of that. But in the meantime, we're going to do everything we can to maintain the existing pool and keep it running and operational so that we have something for the present for those that certainly enjoy the pool. And the good thing about this summer being so rainy, rain doesn't seem to affect people in the swimming pool as long as there's no lightning or thunder, so that's a good thing about that. But anyway, we do certainly appreciate all those that's helped to maintain the pool, and because I'm sure there's a lot of people that enjoyed it this summer as a relaxation destination, we'll say. Doc, do you have you here today on the health department's appointee? Have you had any names or?
Debbie Osborne's a OB nurse who is from Washington District, is registered as an independent, and she's willing to serve if so desired.
Okay, the only thing we'd have to deal with, see if the independent would meet that qualification. You think it will, or would need to check?
I would prefer to check. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I think Debbie would make a good member of that team. We just need to check. She's in the right district and certainly has the medical background, which would be very important, I think, for that. Maybe years and years ago when this was implemented, there may have only been 2 parties, and since we have independent party is the growing party of a lot of counties, and especially Upshur, we'll check on that, and if we can get past that aspect of it, then I certainly would vote for that. So let's check that. Let's check that and see.
I mentioned her name at the health department meeting this morning, and there were no objections.
Right. Has anyone talked to Debbie?
I have.
Okay. She's willing.
I talked to her again this morning. She said yes, she's willing, but she wouldn't be offended if you didn't want her.
Oh well, that's not the case. So, Okay, well, we'll check see if the independent will qualify, and if not, I'm sure she was probably a Republican to start with. Since her grandmother was a Tanny, I'd say she probably was. But anyway, we'll check that out and see if that qualifies. Because I think basically what it says is there can only be so many of each party. So we'll check that out. But I think that she would make a good addition to that.
So I just didn't think it was okay for that.
Okay. Well, we'll run it through our legal system and get a heads up on it.
I want to make a couple very brief comments to add.
Why don't you come up here, Doc? We'll give you a little bit of free TV time. How's that?
I'm not running for office.
It's still free. If you were running, we'd have to charge you, so it's free.
I just wanted to add a couple of comments to what Laura said. First of all, the grants that come from the Tourism Board and the state level are required to be for promotion of things beyond 50 miles from our location. And the second thing is that we as a group have attempted to be very open about our procedures and our actions. Anyone is welcome to come to our meetings, which are the second Wednesday at 1:30. We've moved the location from the C.J. Maggie's down to the McHugh Room at the American Legion in order to make it handicapped accessible. And the third thing I wanted to say is we are very pleased with what Laura's done, and I think she's deserves a lot of credit for making things move.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would agree, based on her report and the activities, I'd say she's doing a great job. We certainly appreciate it, and those board members like yourself that help with that. So, okay, so do we have anything else, Megan?
I just talked to Greg, our facilities director, about the cost for the pool because it's our facility department that would test the waters and do all of that. He said that for I believe it's chlorine tablets, they cost approximately $150 per bucket. We would use 3 to 4 buckets per week. And then there's also $150 worth of some type of acid. He said that's not a weekly cost, but it would be, we'd have to go through a few of those buckets likely. So for the 9 weeks, just for the chlorine tablets would be $4,000. This is if we only use 3 per week, would be $4,050 that's just for the chlorine tablets. You would add on to that any amount of that acid that you need, which is $150. In terms of actually testing the chlorine levels and whatever other chemicals they need to test, he said that would be approximately half an hour to an hour every morning and night that they use the pool. Cleaning the pool would be not every day, but a couple of times a week probably. Otherwise it gets pretty nasty. So, so I don't have an exact dollar amount for the manpower that it would take, but it would be about 2 hours per day probably.
Is that 7 days a week?
You know, I don't know if they would do Sunday. It would at least be 6 days a week. So we would have to have someone go out on Saturday also if they're swimming on Saturdays.
And then we would have the heat cost.
Right, which would be pretty expensive. If we used 4 buckets of the chlorine tablets per week, it would be $5,400. And the heating costs, I don't know what those would be, but given that you're getting into colder nights, I think that would be pretty expensive.
So basically, you're saying it's going to cost several $1,000s?
At least
If we don't have any breakdowns or the...
Correct. Well, I mean, once you add in heating costs, the acid bucket, which I did not include in that $4,000 to $5,000 range, manpower, I would say that heating the pool is going to cost a lot more.
Yeah, I'd say we're looking at $10,000.
Yeah.
I'd say we're looking over 10.
Yeah. And as far as offsetting cost, was it
They offered $600.
$600? I wonder what pool they used in the past. Do you know, Rick?
Blue paste?
Yeah.
They were using not the 50-meter pool, but they were using Harrison pool.
Just a smaller pool.
Yeah, it's a small.
What does Weston have?
Weston has a 25-meter, half the size of ours. And that's the same size that Wesleyan's is also.
The one they've
I'm
been,
not so sure they haven't used Wesleyan, as a matter of fact.
yeah, in the past. Well, we'll see. So do we have all the figures we need? I mean, you think that, other than the heat?
I think Carol was trying to get the numbers for the heat. I don't know, I'm not sure if that's gas or electric.
Gas.
It is gas? Okay. Because, I mean,
Well, that'll give us an indication. That's going to be a warm time of year, which would...
right. So it would be more costly, I would think, for a month.
But it'll give us an idea of about what the usage is.
Yeah.
And I'd say with your temperatures, you probably could at least double that. Because in the summertime, you've got the warmest time of year. And September and October will be starting to get pretty cold. We'll be getting some nights in the 30s. And so, okay, well, we'll get those, and then we're starting to get an idea, but we'll get those cost figures on what the heating, the pool heating costs have been. So.
I can understand the desirability of having access to our pool versus Harrison County pool or the Wesleyan pool, but is the cost offset? It's a decision we have to consider very strongly.
I have a question also. Last year, we had to provide at least one Upshur County staff there during these, and there was an issue with not having lifeguards as far as insurance was concerned. Is that something that we still have to take into consideration? Because I think we extended last year's pool manager for an extra month to cover the high school and the other swim team.
well, and that's an issue because our director is actually a teacher, so he would not be available. So if we did do that, it would have to be likely one of our maintenance staff. One of whom is actually the assistant manager during the summer.
Yeah, Hartzell. Yeah.
Which would take him away
From maintenance responsibilities.
well, and it would also add, I mean, that's after his normal work hours. It would be an additional 4 hours for him every single night, and then at least 3, or if you gave each team 6 on Saturday staggered, that would be an additional 6 weeks on Saturday for him.
Okay, well, we'll continue to gather information so we can make a decision on that. Is there anything else? Our building permits is July,
Yeah.
$1,267,785. They're almost $1.3 million in new construction. I talked to an individual from Greg Hefner, who's the PR person from First Energy, and he said in Buchanan Weston Division of Monpire, there were 45 new requests for electric service for new homes. He said it was just up considerably over the past, so a lot of folks have been waiting an extended period of time to get their electricity, but they're moving some crews in so they can help clean up that backlog, so that's a good thing.
Well, you can see also that some of the generators, some of the building permits for
Right.
generators to be installed.
Right. Yeah, people are, after the 2 storms last year, people they're starting to see the wisdom in having backup generation, that's for sure. Especially if you're off a week or 2 without power, it certainly makes you fully realize what living off the grid means, if not by your own choice. Okay, anything else, Megan, Jennifer? You fellas have anything else?
I'd just like to bring to the attention that the Upshur County 4-H camp is,
Would it be all right if I were to make a community announcement, Mr. President?
Now, just as soon as Buddy finishes, you can come up.
Okay.
Rick's going the same place I was headed, so
Okay.
go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Are you a mind reader, buddy, or what? It's pretty scary if you and Rick are on the same page, you know?
Occasionally we're on,
I don't know for which one.
occasionally we're on the same page.
Okay, go ahead, Rick.
It's been brought to my attention, and of course, since we're talking about youth and we're talking about recreation, we're talking about the summer events, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about our Upshur County Youth Camp at Selbyville. Of course, we're very proud here in Upshur County of that facility, and it brings a lot of not only visitors, but youth and opportunities for a lot of kids that don't normally get those to come down to our southern Upshur County, of course, and to have the opportunity to live out in the wild and have a great time. And there's also a pool facility there, in case anybody doesn't know that the Upshur County, of course, helps maintain. I do want to bring to the attention of all the citizens of Upshur County and, of course, of Buchanan, this year's fundraiser for the gun lottery. All proceeds, of course, will benefit the Upshur County Youth Camp at Selbyville. It's based upon a lottery of the Daily 3 lottery ticket drawing. So you'll get a ticket. It's a $20 donation per ticket. And as that date comes along, which I believe is the September West Virginia Daily 3 lottery tickets, lottery drawings, that you have an opportunity to win quite a few. Actually, it's every day from the lottery, the Daily 3 pick, that you have an opportunity to win some guns. I know there's a lot of folks that enjoy guns, and that, of course, being our privilege and rights. There is also some cash winnings along those lines, in case you don't like guns. Any gun prizes may be picked up at McFly Outdoors, and they reserve the right to exchange the prize for a gun of equal or greater value. I want to make sure that everybody understands this from September 2nd through September 30th. So every day you have an opportunity to win yourself a very nice prize from the donators to the youth camp at Selbyville. Of course, I want to make sure everybody understands you must be over 18 to buy a ticket and to, of course, own a gun. And you also have to be legally eligible to purchase and possess firearms. So we want to make sure we stress that too. I thank you for your opportunity to let me go ahead and announce that to everyone in the county, in the city, and of course outside our county. That'd be good too.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
You want to add anything to the announcement, buddy, or did you take the words right out of your mouth?
Well, pretty much. Anybody has any question could always call Thana Wentz. Anybody want to make a donation could contact her also if they wasn't interested in the raffle ticket. All money goes to help the 4-H camp at Sellersville. In the summertime, sometimes there's as many as 250 kids up there enjoying that facility. So all money will be used to try to upgrade the 4-H camp, which needs a little work. And if you need tickets, you can get them in here from the courthouse. Debbie Miller, you can stop IGA store, see Glenn Hopkins, Village Hardware, or you can call Dana Wentz. So I think it's a good cause. That's it.
That it? Well, and I might add that the county commission does contribute upwards of $100,000 a year for the operation of that camp, and have spent several $1,000s over the past few years in helping them maintain that. And I think a year or two ago, Senator Barnes got about $50,000 for the youth camp for a new roof and some other improvements. So, and there's been the Orth Gould account, if those that's old enough to remember that, he donated several thousands of dollars, over hundreds of thousands, and part of that went to the youth camp. So they do have camps for a lot of. Actually, the proper name is the Upshur County Youth Camp. The 4-H camp, the older and the younger 4-H camp, just meets there twice each one for a week a year, and they host camps from all over, even out of the county. A lot of their camps for out of the county.
So they have family reunions as well.
Right, family reunions. Hunters, they rent out their cabins for hunters, and it's a
Camp Tommy.
yeah. And the band used to be there, and so there's a lot of. It is beautiful. It's just a beautiful valley. At one time, it was a chemical plant. They made. That's why we have a LeBray tar pit there. That we've got. How are we doing on that grant, by the way, Megan?
I started working on that a little bit ago, and then got sidetracked with some other issues, and
And that's
probably something
to-
that Jennifer will start working.
Is that to look at possible cleanup? I know it's been
Right.
fenced.
Yeah, it's to get someone in there, I think they call it the
Brownfield.
site.
Brownfield.
So
Right.
we need to have someone go in, take a look at it, see what we need to do to
Right.
work on it, and then,
Seek additional grants.
yes,
Right.
probably.
Right. Because at one time, and there's pictures here in the courthouse of that, they made wood alcohol, and there's ricks of wood stacked through that whole bottom, and one of the byproducts of wood alcohol was tar. And of course, at that point in time, they put it in one area there, and so there's one area. But the interesting thing is, another byproduct is charcoal. So underneath that ground, that whole flat area there, just right under the surface is charcoal. So they have to be very careful that they don't have anybody building fires out in specific areas there, because you catch that charcoal on fire, it would burn forever, because there's a layer of charcoal on that whole area there. So there's some real great history there with the Upshur County Youth Camp. And as a matter of fact, that property was offered, and the Upshur County Farm Bureau years ago stepped up to the bat and actually bought that property and paid for it. And then sometime later, a year or two later, then they turned it over to the Upshur County Commission. The Upshur County Commission actually owns the property, but then there was legislation that was implemented that actually the financial control is by that board. So it's one of those unusual situations where the county owns the property, but the board actually controls all the finances, and the county commission then makes contribution to that. We pay all the salaries and all the wages of everybody throughout the course of the year. And of course, there are several Upshur County camps, but there are also several out-of-county camps that utilize that facility. It's a little history there, being the old guy on the block, you know. But we would encourage everyone to participate, either by just donating money or by buying a ticket.
Or utilizing the facility
Right,
for the groups.
right. So if you want to have a get-together with your hoarders reunion or any other organization, there certainly, I'm sure, because last year they lost a lot of camps and a lot of revenue because of the two storms, basically the first one. So anyway, you gentlemen have anything else? If not, I'm sure we've got plenty of bills to pay, don't we, Megan? Okay.